What is a supply chain? A supply chain is a global network used to deliver products and services, from raw materials to end customers, through an engineered flow of information, physical distribution, and cash. Basic supply chain for a product. The below figure illustrates a very basic supply chain with three entities: a producer with one supplier and one customer. Four basic flows that connect the supply chain entities together are as follows. Flow of physical materials and services, from suppliers to the end customer. Flow of cash, from the customer to the raw materials supplier. Flow of information back and forth along the chain. And reverse flow of product returned. Logistics. It is defined as the art and science of obtaining, producing, and distributing material and product in the proper place and in proper quantities. Logistics management. It is the part of supply chain management that plans, implements, and controls the efficient, effective, forward and reverse flow and storage of goods, services, and related information between the point of origin and the point of consumption in order to meet customers' requirements. Difference between supply chain and logistics. Transforming a raw material into products and getting it to customers is supply chain, whereas movement of materials in the supply chain is logistics. The 7 R's of logistics. The most popular concepts of logistics management is the concept of the 7 R's. It is concerned with getting the right product in the right quantity, in the right condition, at the right place, at the right time, to the right customer, and at the right price. Logistics functions. Following the areas of logistics management contribute to an integrated approach to logistics within supply chain management. Transportation. Many modes of transportation play a role in the movement of goods through supply chains via air, rail, road, water, or pipeline. Selecting the most efficient combination improves the value created for customers. Warehousing. When inventory is not on the move between locations, it may have to spend some time in a warehouse. Warehousing is the activities related to receiving, storing, and shipping materials to and from production or distribution locations. Third and fourth party logistics. Third-party logistics providers actually perform or manage one or more logistics services. Fourth-party providers are logistics specialists and play the role of general contractor by taking over the entire logistics function for an organization. Reverse logistics. It is a way to handle the return, reuse, recycling, or disposal of products that make the reverse journey from the customer to the supplier.
AIMS is a globally recognized and an accredited institution. We offer certifications, diploma, MBA, and PhD programs in supply chain and logistics management through an online and self-paced learning system. For registration and details, please visit www.aims.education.
A basic supply chain in this figure is made up of these entities. Seller is a supplier who provides goods and services, or a person or organization with whom the buyer does business. Their generic term in marketplace is seller. Supplier provides materials, energy, services, or components for a product or service, such as plastic, fabric, electric wiring, or aircraft. A producer is the one who receives components from the seller to produce a finished good or service, such as shirts from fabric, crockery from plastic, power from electric wiring, or provides transportation through aircraft. The customer is the one who receives the finished product. That is the one who wears those shirts, uses the crockery, turns on the lights, or flies in an aeroplane. Substituting information for inventory. It is one of the tactics used to design effective logistics strategy. It requires taking a series of steps to construct the logistics network. Step 1. Locate in the right countries. First, identify all geographical locations and then analyze your forward and reverse chains to see if selecting different geographic locations could make the logistics function more efficient and effective. Step 2. Develop an effective export-import strategy. Determine the volume of freight and units that are imports and exports, and decide where to place inventory for strategic advantage. Step 3. Select warehouse locations. Determine the number of warehouses, calculate optimal distance from markets, and establish the most effective placement of warehouses around the world. Step 4. Select transportation modes and carriers. Determine the mix of transportation modes that will most efficiently connect suppliers, producers, warehouses, distributors, and customers. Step 5. Select the right number of partners. Select the minimum number of firms, freight forwarders, and third or fourth party logistics to manage forward and reverse logistics. Step 6. Develop state-of-the-art information systems. It reduces inventory costs by accurately and rapidly tracking demand information and the location of goods. Reducing supply chain partners to an effective number. The more partners there are in the chain, the more difficult and expensive the chain is to manage. Consider a supply chain of 3 echelons between factory and customers: 2 factory warehouses, 9 wholesale warehouses, and 350 retail stores. Reducing the number of partners reduces operating costs, cycle time, and inventory holding costs. When consider reducing the logistic partners, look for an entire echelon, such as all the wholesale warehouses or factory warehouses. But if you eliminate all partners, you would be back to the vertical integration strategy. Pooling risks. When manufacturers and retailers experience high variability in demand for their products, they can pull together common inventory components associated with a broad family of products to buffer the overall burden of having to deploy inventory for each discrete product. This is called pooling risks. This reduces storage costs and risks of stockouts by consolidating stock in centralized warehouses. Flow of goods and information. These flows exist in each supply chain. Enterprise must have internal process integration and collaboration between functions, as well as alignment and integration across the supply chain. Customer information flows through the enterprise via orders, sales activity, and forecasts. Value-added flow of goods begins as products and materials are procured.